Every traffic stop became a trap, and every complaint mysteriously disappeared into nothing. They ruled their precinct through fear, knowing no one could ever touch them safely. That changed when they harassed the wrong man during a routine neighborhood patrol. A black man walking his German Shepherd through a quiet, tree-lined suburban street. They assumed he was powerless, just another face they could easily intimidate and control. When he refused to submit and calmly questioned their authority, they quickly escalated. Harsh words turned into threats. Threats rapidly became physical violence and aggression. When his loyal dog stepped forward protectively, one officer reached for his gun. Now Malcolm Hayes, a skilled Delta Force operative, with nothing left to lose, comes for them. The officers believed they understood true power, and that badges made them untouchable forever. They had no idea what kind of storm was coming their way this time. Justice would arrive swiftly and painfully, leaving no room for escape or mercy. Before we continue this intense story, comment where in the world you're watching from. Make sure to subscribe now, so you never miss the next thrilling tale. The afternoon sun cast long golden shadows over the peaceful suburban street. Its warm light filtered gently through trees lining the neatly paved sidewalks. Rex's paws tapped rhythmically against concrete as his ears flicked at distant sounds. Birds chirped occasionally from branches while a lawnmower hummed far away. The leash hung loosely in Malcolm's firm grip as they walked together. The German Shepherd moved in perfect sync with his calm, alert owner. It was a beautiful day, one of those rare moments feeling completely uncomplicated. Malcolm breathed slowly, inhaling crisp, freshly cut grass and easing daily weight. This simple walk formed part of his cherished routine after long work travels. He had been away longer than usual overseeing overseas security operations. Now back home, he wanted only quiet moments with Rex under sunlight. Yet even savoring peace, he remained aware of watchful eyes around him. It always happened this way in his own familiar neighborhood streets. A car slowed deliberately at intersections or curtains moved slightly upstairs. Joggers hesitated too long before passing or avoided direct eye contact. Malcolm spent most adult life in high-risk environments, reading situations instantly. Survival depended on identifying threats like combatants or hidden explosives quickly. Here at home, dangers felt subtler but equally real and persistent. Strangers' eyes lingered too long or purses clutched tighter without reason. A man walking his golden retriever crossed the street, avoiding any contact last week. Malcolm had done nothing wrong except exist in his paid-for neighborhood. Irony struck hard as an elite Delta Force veteran facing constant suspicion. He operated in deadly places where wrong moves meant certain death. Trust became a luxury he could never afford during dangerous missions. He took down warlords, dismantled cells, protected unaware civilians silently. Yet, in his own community bought with blood, sweat, and sacrifice, he didn't belong. A car turned the corner ahead, creeping forward at deliberately slow pace. Malcolm glanced toward it, already knowing exactly what he would see. The familiar black and white shape of a police cruiser appeared clearly. A low, humming growl rose softly from Rex's chest, barely audible. Malcolm tugged the leash lightly, murmuring "Easy boy" in calm tones. His voice soothed instantly, and Rex obeyed with tilted head attentively. The cruiser slowed further, pulling alongside them, matching walking pace. Then a voice called out "Afternoon, sir," from the open window. Malcolm stopped walking and turned toward the vehicle measuredly. His posture stayed relaxed, expression neutral without tension or challenge. "Afternoon, officer," he replied politely, maintaining respectful, even tone. Driver Calloway leaned against the window, eyes assessing everything carefully. Partner Miller stepped out, boots crunching pavement as he positioned close enough to intimidate, but far enough to deny intention later. They weren't here for any friendly neighborhood chat this time. "You live around here?" Calloway asked with casually tilted head. His voice sounded too casual, hiding underlying sharp suspicion. "Yes, sir," Malcolm answered immediately, without any hesitation. Calloway's lips twitched, surprised by automatic respectful response. "That's funny. I don't think I've seen you around before." Malcolm nodded politely. "I travel often for work in security, contracting overseas. Just got back a few days ago after long assignment." Miller scoffed softly, shaking head at security contracting description. "That's fancy way of saying mercenary these days, isn't it?" Malcolm chuckled softly, refusing to show offense or tension. Let them believe they held complete upper hand here. "Not quite," he replied friendly. "Private security in high-risk environments. I consult for agencies and corporations, training teams for emergencies. Calloway nodded slowly, expression showing something clearly not right. We got a call about someone looking suspicious in the neighborhood. Figured we'd check it out and see what's going on. Malcolm raised brow but kept tone even and non-confrontational. I wasn't aware walking my dog counted as suspicious. Calloway smirked. You'd be surprised what people find suspicious nowadays. Miller stepped closer slowly, eyes dropping to watchful Rex. That's a big dog you've got there, he commented, feigning casual interest. Trained? Yes, sir. Trained thoroughly for obedience and protection. He's very disciplined and follows commands without fail. Miller nodded, as if weighing words carefully before responding. Calloway shifted conversation. Going to need to see some ID. It wasn't a polite request but a clear, direct order. Malcolm knew rights. He could question or refuse legally. But he understood these men's type and chose careful cooperation. Of course, he said smoothly, reaching slowly into jacket. Rex rumbled, barely audibly, shifting closer protectively to owner. Calloway's fingers twitched near belt. Miller sharpened voice slightly. You might want to keep that thing under better control. Malcolm's jaw tightened briefly, but voice stayed completely level. Rex is fine. He's well trained and not aggressive. Calloway chuckled. Yeah, we'll see about that soon enough. The tone carried unspoken promise of coming escalation clearly. Malcolm pulled wallet carefully, holding it up visibly. Calloway waved dismissively. Nah, step over here for questions. Malcolm exhaled slowly, avoiding any excuse for further escalation. He tugged leash lightly, signaling Rex to stand down calmly. Malcolm stepped forward deliberately, maintaining calm posture with wallet extended visibly. Rex's leash stayed steady in his grip, while the dog tensed subtly. Only Malcolm noticed the imperceptible shift in Rex's alert body language. He felt officers' intense scrutiny tracking his every careful movement. His fingers traced identification card before turning it toward Calloway. Well, look at that, Miller mused, shaking head slowly. Calloway glanced at wallet with clearly unimpressed casual expression. Delta Force, huh? His voice carried disdain despite service record. Malcolm stayed calm, refusing to give desired emotional reaction. Men like this craved defiance to justify pushing harder. Calloway chuckled softly, handing wallet back, forcing closer step. That's cute, Calloway drawled, folding arms and stepping closer. Malcolm tilted head slightly. I do belong. I live here. Calloway smirked wider, almost like he's got secrets buried deep. Malcolm breathed slowly, centering himself against rising internal restraint. Malcolm tightened grip slightly. He's fine. He's trained well. Calloway whistled low. Dangerous thing walking around neighborhood freely. He's not trained to attack. Malcolm corrected patiently. Yeah, Calloway smirked. What does he think needs defending from? Malcolm remained silent, refusing to take obvious bait. Miller exhaled sharply. Guy's got big dog, won't answer fully. You don't need to do that, he said measuredly. I've cooperated fully, shown ID. There's no cause here. Calloway tilted head. Turn around, hands behind back for safety. Malcolm moved fluidly, redirecting grip without using force. He stepped back while grounding Rex before dog lunged. Whoa, Malcolm said quickly with sharp authority. He's reacting to your clear aggression. Stand down now. They ignored him completely. Miller drew guns swiftly, his face twisted with fear, disguised as firm control. Get that dog back now, Calloway barked loudly. Rex stayed in place, but body remained fully taut. Malcolm raised hands slowly, palms outward in compliance. Listen, officers, I live here. You saw my ID. Rex sensed unease, leash tightening in Malcolm's firm grip. This stop had never been routine from very start. Calloway's smirk vanished, replaced by colder, calculating expression. Then control your damn dog, he demanded sharply. Malcolm exhaled slowly. Rex is under control. He hasn't moved. He's on leash, trained, and hasn't attacked anyone. The only aggression comes directly from you two. I don't give a damn what you think, boy, Miller snapped. Malcolm's fingers twitched from buried, deep, disciplined restraint. Officers, please. I'm complying fully, without resistance. You know I live here. My dog is restrained. So tell me what exactly you need from me. Calloway stepped closer, hand twitching near holster again. You think this is some kind of game? You think we care what a soldier thinks here? Miller moved forward, boots grinding pavement aggressively. You want to keep talking or do what you're told? Rex growled low warning. Officer's hands shot 2 guns. "Control your damn dog," Miller shouted angrily. Malcolm's voice snapped authoritative. "He is controlled completely." "Not good enough," Calloway yelled with tightening fingers. Malcolm felt critical shift just before situation exploded. Miller jerked hand toward gun. Rex reacted instantly. A sharp, quick bark warned before muscles tensed fully. Malcolm barely processed before gunshot cracked like thunder. The leash jerked hard. Rex stumbled from direct impact. World slowed. Blood roared loudly in Malcolm's ears. His legs faltered, his body gave way to ground. "No." Malcolm's voice broke raw as knees hit pavement. Rex collapsed against him with suddenly heavy weight. Malcolm's hands pressed desperately against warm, spreading wound. Blood seeped quickly between fingers, pooling on cold pavement. A low, pained whimper escaped Rex's weakening throat. Miller kept gun raised with self-satisfied mock surprise. Calloway shook head. "Told you he was liability." Malcolm barely heard them, over-consuming dark rage. Everything inside went deadly still as grief hit. He cradled Rex's face, stroking damp fur gently. "Stay with me, boy. You're okay. Hold on." Rex's eyes stayed alert, searching face for command. Tremors racked body. Breathing turned shallow and uneven. Malcolm muttered desperately, "You're strong. Don't quit on me." Then Rex exhaled final shallow breath and went still. Something deep inside Malcolm snapped completely open. He lifted head slowly, eyes burning with pure fury. Blood-smeared hands, arms, clothes in vivid red. "You," he growled, with unfiltered hatred coiling tightly. He surged upward, fists clenched, stance rigid, ready. "You killed him," he roared with breaking voice. Miller flinched slightly. Calloway sneered, dismissing tantrum. "That's on you. Should have controlled your dog." World turned red. Malcolm lunged with raw fury. Sharp electricity snapped into spine from sudden taser. Body seized violently, nerves ignited in blinding pain. He crashed to ground, convulsing helplessly against pavement. They pinned him down with boots and drawn pistols. Voices shouted orders, treating him like wild animal. Malcolm gasped, forcing arms behind back despite rage. "Yeah, that's right," Calloway muttered with dripping satisfaction. "That's exactly where you belong, on the ground." Cold steel handcuffs dug deeply into Malcolm's wrists during ride. Vehicle rumbled silently down road with sirens off completely. Jaw ached from clenched teeth, throat raw from screams. He could still feel Rex's weight and final moments. Those trusting eyes waiting for command that never came. Calloway yanked him out roughly like discarded trash. Boots hit ground. Malcolm steadied himself against pain. Miller smirked arrogantly. "Welcome to your new home tonight." He shoved Malcolm hard toward cold station doors. Malcolm stayed silent with straight posture and forward eyes. Mind calculated through thick fog of burning rage. Booking blurred with cold fingers, removing cuffs briefly. Ink-pressed skin under harsh fluorescent humming lights. Mugshot, captured with Rex's blood still visible. Evidence of loss reduced to meaningless form. Check. Malcolm refused to sit, or pace, or close eyes. He waited patiently while anger shifted to danger. Door opened. Familiar, furious voice echoed sharply. Jasmine stormed in with heels striking tile forcefully. Her presence challenged every reluctant escorting officer. She shoved papers hard into nearest officer's chest. Calloway appeared, smirking in doorway with crossed arms. "Relax, sweetheart. We just had misunderstanding earlier." Jasmine turned fast. "Misunderstanding? Shooting his dog counts. You assaulted and jailed him for existing here." Calloway shrugged casually. "Could have gone much worse." Malcolm spoke quietly, with voice laced in steel. Officers hesitated briefly before Calloway snorted dismissively. Jasmine gripped Malcolm's wrist firmly as anchor. Jasmine rubbed face. "I'm sorry about Rex deeply. I know exactly what he meant to you." Malcolm tensed jaw, but words failed to come. "You need to let me handle this legally. Courts, media, every proper avenue available now." "It won't work," Malcolm said quietly but firmly. Jasmine hesitated, knowing police controlled entire system. They buried complaints beneath endless false reports. Courts rarely delivered real accountability here. Malcolm let go of trusting broken system. Colder, inevitable resolve settled deeply within him. Days later, house felt silent with heavy absence. Quiet, clawed mind pressing from every empty side. Malcolm sat at kitchen table, staring untouched coffee. Rex's coiled leash rested visibly on counter. Void left by missing movement crushed deeply. Jasmine watched carefully from nearby window. You haven't slept or eaten in days." Malcolm offered no response or acknowledgement. She sighed, stepping closer with soft voice. "I know what you're thinking right now." Malcolm exhaled humorless sound, almost like laugh. "Do you really know my thoughts, Jasmine?" She searched face. "I know how you operate. You fix broken things or eliminate enemies. This isn't Battlefield. Let system work slowly." Malcolm looked up with dark, hollow eyes. "Feels exactly like Battlefield to me. We're filing case with media and activists. This won't disappear. Pressure will force action. They closed internal investigation this morning completely. No misconduct found. Justified force declared officially." Jasmine tensed with disbelief and rising fury. "That doesn't mean we're finished fighting. We appeal higher and expose everything publicly." Malcolm leaned forward. "They took everything in seconds. You want me to wait for fake accountability? I tried cooperating fully from very start. Showed ID, spoke politely, never resisted once. Rex still died and I still got jailed. I'm done trying their way forever, Jasmine." She sat across, searching for remaining doubt. "If you do this, there's no coming back." Malcolm held gaze. "I don't want to return." Silence stretched thick with unspoken heavy words. Jasmine stood, smoothing jacket, and left quietly. Malcolm waited until her car faded away. He picked up Rex's leash, coiling tightly. Reminder became promise of coming war. Barr sat at city edge, away from authority. Calloway drank heavily in familiar indulgent seat. Malcolm watched days, learning vices and patterns. Predictability became clear, exploitable weakness. Calloway parked same dark alley without cameras. Malcolm followed silently after final drink. Barr sat at city edge, away from authority. Malcolm watched days, learning vices and patterns. Predictability became clear, exploitable weakness. Calloway parked same dark alley without cameras. Calloway crashed hard, head bouncing off pavement. He gasped, confused, grasping concrete desperately. Malcolm dragged by, collar slamming down again. Punch splattered blood. For all harassed brothers. Calloway shuddered, realizing terror for first time. Calloway lay aching with unfamiliar, endured pain. Fingers fumbled, phone dialing Miller urgently. Miller arrived quickly, scanning dark shadows. Malcolm expected desperate retaliation from fear. First turned Briggs at rundown boxing gym. Briggs stood tall, unafraid against intimidation. Profiling build, assuming guilt without evidence. Carter laughed defiantly, confusing their anger. Malcolm documented every reckless, desperate stop. They turned toward Malcolm's familiar street finally. Malcolm prepared house, appearing vulnerable intentionally. Whiskey bottle visible. Gun safe slightly ajar. Hidden cameras positioned perfectly for recording. Porch light on, side gate left unlocked. Knock came sharp. Malcolm opened calmly. "Mind if we come in without warrant?" Malcolm leaned frame. "You got legal warrant." Calloway shoved inside, closing door behind. "You think Delta Force makes you tough?" Punches landed hard on ribs and jaw. Malcolm allowed, without resistance or counter. They smirked, satisfied, leaving with threats. Malcolm reviewed perfect, clear, damning footage. Miller frequented dive bar, unraveling visibly. Malcolm waited until drunk and vulnerable. Followed into dark alley, speaking calmly. "You're done. This is personal now." Miller reached gun, but Malcolm struck first. Precise blows repaid every past cruelty. "He shot my dog. Remember that moment." Miller whimpered, broken under relentless force. Malcolm left him heap, then established alibi. Casino cameras captured him drinking publicly. Witnesses confirmed presence during exact beating. Police arrived with lights at Malcolm's home. They cuffed him, reading rights mechanically. Interrogation room held tense, waiting. Captain Holt showed photos of beaten officers. "Where were you last night, precisely?" "Casino bar." Footage and witnesses confirm. Holt revealed leaked home assault footage. News exploded with evidence everywhere. "Release him now." Charges dropped immediately. Malcolm walked free as storm consumed them. World turned against Calloway and Miller rapidly. Footage spread, igniting protests and demands. They lost badges, pensions, and protection. Malcolm faced them outside precincts silently. "You set us up," Miller spat wildly. "You did this to yourselves completely. This is rest of your ruined lives." They drowned in self-made public ruin. Malcolm pushed evidence for criminal charges. Grand jury convened with overwhelming proof. Trial packed with activists and journalists. Malcolm testified, detailing every horrific moment. Footage played, showing home invasion assault. Defense crumbled under weight of truth. Jury deliberated briefly, returning guilty verdicts. Judge sentenced 25 years without parole. Calloway and Miller shattered hearing fate. Malcolm watched finality without visible emotion. Cemetery quiet held still peaceful presence. Malcolm crouched at Rex's simple headstone. It's done, boy. They paid fully. He placed faded photo against stone. I miss you every single day. Wind shifted as he stood slowly. For first time he walked without looking back. I hope you enjoyed this powerful story. Please share it widely with your friends. Subscribe now to never miss next one. I handpicked 2 similar stories for you. Have a wonderful day and stay safe.